All right, we'll go with J.P. Morosi in the back.
Luis, thank you for your time. What was it about Seattle and the Mariners that made you feel comfortable right away?
Luis, muchas gracias por tu tiempo. ¿Qué fue de Seattle y los Marineros que te ayudó a sentirte como en casa?
Bueno, gracias a Dios por tenerme en este equipo, tan bastante batallador, y es una motivación al tener ese grupo que tenemos ahí en el clubhouse de venir todos los días con una mente positiva, dar 100% cada día más.
You know, thank God that I'm with this team that's very competitive, and I'm just happy and glad that I'm able to be with this team that's very competitive, that, you know, fights for every inning, and I'm very thankful for that.
Go on the right over here with Corey.
Luis, good morning. Mitch Haniger described you the other day on days that you start as being very lively, upbeat, joking around. A lot of starting pitchers on the day they pitch have extreme kind of tunnel vision. They don't want to talk to anybody. They keep to themselves. Why is he wired that way, and has he always been wired that way?
Luis, Mitch Haniger el otro día te describió como una persona que en los días que vas a comenzar, que una persona feliz, alegre, que te gusta bromear. Hay lanzadores que les gusta estar serio, enfocados en lo que van a hacer. ¿Por qué te gusta ser así?
Bueno, esa es mi naturaleza. Esa es mi naturaleza. Yo cuando siempre que vengo aquí al estadio, a cualquier sitio, cualquier país, cualquier lugar, yo siempre trato de tener la misma cara y siempre disfrutarme lo más que yo pueda de mi vida.
I mean, it's natural. It's natural. It's just who I am. It doesn't matter where I go, if I'm a different country, a different city. It's just who I am. I'm just here, and I'm trying to go and just enjoy myself and kind of live in the moment.
Go in the front here with Ryan.
Luis, you've been in the National League for a while, but what are your impressions of the Astros over the years? And have you kind of gotten a sense of the rivalry that the Mariners feel with the Astros, wanting to beat them in your short time here with them?
Luis, has estado en esta liga por mucho tiempo. ¿Qué has pensado tú de los Astros durante estos años? ¿Y te has dado cuenta o te has sentido esa rivalidad que ha tenido Seattle y los Astros estos últimos años?
Bueno, no he sentido nada porque cuando vine aquí a los Marineros, ellos no volvieron a jugar con los Astros. Pero lo que yo mismo he dicho, que si me voy a enfrentar a cualquier equipo, no importa cualquier equipo que sea aquí en Grandes Ligas, yo voy a darle el 100% de la lomita y tratar de hacer lo que yo sé hacer.
You know, I haven't really gotten the sense of that because when I got here, we didn't face the Astros anymore. But like I said it before, it doesn't matter what team you are in the MLB. I'm going to come in and just and do my best that I can do.
Stay in the front, Daniel.
Luis, this can be a pretty challenging ballpark to pitch in, not just because of what the Astros offer offensively, but just the quirky dimensions and everything. A lot of weird stuff happens here. Have your teammates at all talked to you about that and just the challenges of pitching at Minute Maid Park?
Este parque puede ser un poco difícil, no nomás por el equipo que está enfrentando, pero las dimensiones a veces del parque que hay aquí. ¿Tus compañeros te han dado unos consejos o te han platicado un poco de lanzar en este parque?
Bueno, yo he hablado un poquito con mis compañeros, pero no de cómo lanzar aquí, sino de cómo ellos conocen el estadio. Pero yo no me enfoco de cómo es el estadio y esas cosas, sino el enfoque que yo tengo en cada picheo que yo vaya a hacerle a cada bateador.
You know, I've kind of talked to them about the park, but when I'm not really focused, you know, on kind of the dimensions of the park. When I go up there, it's just I'm focused on what kind of pitches that I'm going to throw.
On the left over here.
Hi, Luis. Kevin with Fansided. Coming into the AL, you've been a little bit of a mystery to some teams, including the Astros. Does that give you an advantage on the mound?
Desde que llegaste a la AL, has sido un misterio para algunos equipos, inclusamente para los Astros. ¿Tú ves eso como una ventaja para ti?
Bueno, no lo veo como una ventaja, sino que lo que está para nosotros, Dios lo tiene en la lista, ¿me entiendes? Pero yo trato de hacer lo más que yo pueda, ayudar lo más que yo pueda al equipo y siempre me mantengo saludable para cualquier situación y cualquier cosa que pueda pasar.
I don't really see it as an advantage. I mean, I kind of let God decide what He has planned for us, but as far as for me, I'm going to go up there and do my best when I'm on the mound and just, compete as best as I can.
Go on your right over here to Jeff.
Hey, Luis, Jeff Passan, ESPN. How does anyone hit your fastball?
Luis, ¿cómo alguien le pega la recta tuya?
Bueno, tú sabes que así como nosotros nos preparamos para tener la velocidad como yo la tengo, también ellos se preparan para conectar esa velocidad. Tú sabes que cada cosa tiene su contra. El pitcher tira duro, pero el bateador está preparado para conectarla también.
Just like I prepare every time I go on the mound to throw as fast as I can, batters are also trying to prepare to, see what kind of pitch is coming for them. But, yeah, it's there's always a counter to what you do, and, batters can, get a hit on it.
Go on the back left, Aaron.
Hi, Luis. Your best starts so far as a Mariner have come against the best teams that you've faced and with the best environments that you've pitched in, the biggest crowds. What is it you think about the ballpark atmosphere and the quality of the opponent that makes you be seemingly the best version of yourself?
Luis, parece que tienes tus más grandes comienzos contra equipos grandes, con las fanaticadas grandes, llenas. ¿Qué parece de ti que es eso, de esa energía que te da para ser el mejor versión tuya en esas situaciones?
Bueno, yo siempre trato de tener buena energía, siempre trato de estar saludable para esos tipos de situaciones. Más la fanaticada que nos transmiten una vibra muy positiva de seguir batallando, de darlo. Si tenemos el 100%, los fanáticos tratan de que nosotros demos el 101%.
It's that energy that I feel that it's kind of the environment. The fans play a big role that give me that little extra energy to compete and give us that little energy to compete. So if we're out there and we're battling and we're giving it 110% and that energy from the fans keeps going, instead of 100%, we're going to give that 101%.
Go on the right, JP Morosi.
Luis, gracias otra vez. ¿Cómo describe la cultura de béisbol en Baní, su ciudad? ¿Cuáles fueron los aspectos más importantes de su juventud ahí?
So the question was, how does he describe the baseball in Benin and where he's from, and how does the aspects there kind of shape him how to be?
Bueno, esa cultura muy bonita ya en Baní, a pesar de que habemos muchos peloteros, habemos unos cuantos también que estamos aquí en Grandes Ligas, pero allá en Baní a la juventud le gusta mucho el béisbol, y yo empecé desde chiquitico a jugar béisbol. El papá mío siempre me inspiraba, me daba muchos consejos: vamos para que juegue béisbol, me llevaba al estadio, los sábados era que nosotros jugábamos, y yo trataba de quedarme, dormir, él iba, me levantaba de la cama para jugar, para que vaya al estadio a jugar béisbol, y yo creo que una de las mejores inspiraciones fue mi papá, que siempre me ayudó y me apoyó a que yo esté aquí ahora mismo.
It's a beautiful culture there in Beni, and me growing up there, a lot of the kids love playing baseball, and I grew up loving playing baseball, and my dad was kind of the inspiration for that. He would always, tell me, hey, let's go play baseball, and I remember that the games were always on Saturday, and my dad would be the one that always woke me up. So I would say big inspiration for me getting into baseball and staying where I'm at is definitely my father.
On the right.
Hey, Luis, Rick Riz with Mariners. I just want to get your impression on this ball club's second biggest comeback in postseason history, against the Toronto Blue Jays. What is it about this team that you guys never give up? And what was your reaction to see so many fans celebrate with you on the field after 46,000 fans left Rogers Center?
Luis, quiero saber las impresiones de este equipo que estás, una de las remontadas más grandes en la historia de este equipo, y también qué fue la impresión de tantas fanaticadas aún quedándose a celebrar con ustedes después de la victoria, a pesar de que miles de fans se fueron del estadio.
Sí, esa remontada vino porque nosotros siempre no bajamos la cabeza, sino que seguimos batallando hasta que pudimos tener la victoria, y muy contento al tener esa fanaticada allá en Toronto, celebrando con nosotros. eso es muy bien porque vemos que la fanaticada siempre nos está apoyando donde quiera que estemos.
To the fan part, he says that it's great. It's great because they see the support that they have, and they will get no matter where they go. And in terms of the first question, I'm sorry, Rick, can you repeat the first question? I kind of forgot.
What is it about this ball club that they just don't give up? In that game, you're down by 7 runs, second biggest comeback in postseason history. What is about this team that you've been a part of that is able to do something like that and have been for months?
Luis, otra vez la remontada ¿qué es de este equipo? Saber esa de la remontada que dieron de este equipo.
Bueno, como dije anteriormente, la remontada es que nunca no bajamos la cabeza, sino seguimos batallando hasta que al final del juego pudimos tener la victoria. Algo increíble de que estábamos perdiendo por muchas carreras, pero tenemos un talento muy bueno en el clubhouse que gracias a Dios pudimos tener esa victoria.
You know, it was incredible. What that showed, that comeback showed, was that we are a team that will keep battling. They will keep battling until we can get it our way. And you know, it was that we were definitely away, and we were able to get those many runs in that that short time during that game.
Anything else for Luis? Luis, thanks for coming in.
Yep, thank you.
For those that needed, his interpreter was Freddie Llanos, Freddy Llanos.
Showered yet? No, I put a hat on. I put on a shirt that I wore yesterday. And the TV hit on the Zoom. You guys thought so. Maybe you should shave. I go, thanks. Came out perfect. You didn't sound too excited. It sounded like you took it yourself. What's her birthday? That's been the way that what I do. Like what you get her? Nothing. Yeah, we take her to Mexico. Her birthday. I was gonna surprise her. I learned my lessons. Said, what do you want for your birthday? Great. Didn't get her anything. Doghouse for fucking month. Oh, I mean, what is the pretty I got her. I got her first. I'm sorry, you guys. You gotta be great. I asked at least. First of all, she loves Chris Flexen. Yeah, hold on, it's 40 too? Yeah, she turned 40, so that's another problem. So she's got, all right, but it's, I am in a world, maybe you should, like, get somebody home. Gotta get something. My dad's delivering her, like, favorite celebrating Mother's Day. Okay. And then, like, I do. Right.
What seat
All
you
right.
want me at? This one? Doesn't matter?
Up to you.
I'll take this one.
All right. We'll open it up for Scott Servais. Start with Daniel in the front.
Hey Scott, no roster changes from the Toronto series. Was there any contemplation of making any adjustments, and kind of what went into the decision making with that process?
Yeah, we certainly looking at everybody that's been a part of our club all year long and trying to put the best roster together, no matter how all the pieces fit. We discussed a number of different things. We just felt where we're at, and this series being a little bit different with the off days. Then, we don't play back-to-back days here, then have an off day, then, 3 in a row. So having the extra off days played into the fact that we decided to keep it the same, 14 position players and 12 pitchers.
Stay in the front here with Ryan.
Hey, Scott, they announced all 3 of their starters.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a game 3 starter that you decided, or are you going to play it by ear based on what you see in these first 2 games?
Yeah, we're going to play it by ear, see where we're at. I think that's the best way to go right now. For us, certainly we'll run Logan today and Luis Castillo here in game 2 and then see where we're at.
Go in the back, JP.
Thanks, Scott. Just curious about Adam Frazier and his evolution since he's joined the Mariners, and how does his swing maybe ideally suit a postseason circumstance?
Good question. It's a very short swing. Obviously, he's a contact guy. That's what it's about. And in the playoffs, with all of the power stuff you see, you need balls in play. You need to make things happen. You saw it happen the other night. He was right on almost every pitch thrown to him the other night. So, again, it does help that you do have that contact guy. That's what he brings to the mix. I don't think you've seen him. I would love to see him hit a home run, but I'm not expecting it for sure. So that's what Frage does. He does a pretty good job, and he can put the bat on the ball really no matter where it's at in the strike zone. He doesn't have a big hole. Because at this time of year, everybody's got all the information, all the scouting reports. If you got a hole, they're going to attack it. So Frage does a great job with that. He understands who he is, and his ability to keep the line moving is critical for us.
Go on your left to Shannon.
Scott, in the wild card era, I think there have only been 6 divisional matchups between divisional teams. How does that kind of play into preparation, how the familiarity, how you handle things in game? Is that a difference maker?
Oh, you're certainly very familiar with the foe. You know, it does change things a little bit, I guess, and the fact that you maybe have an idea how, you know, there are players, you know, react to different things based on matchups. Personal history may be a little bit bigger than it is against a team like the Blue Jays or somebody else that you just don't play as often. So that plays into it some. But at the end of the day, you got to go out and play good baseball. And, you know, you got to play clean defense. You got to control the strike zone, all the things that we believe in, and then do it over and over and over again. So, you know, it's the beauty of playoff baseball. It's about winning the game. But the fact that you are so familiar with the opponent and you've got that personal history, I think it helps a little bit. Helps me anyway. It's all about predicting what might happen, which we're all terrible at this time of year. But it does give you a better sense of where things need to go.
Go over here in front to Ryan.
Hey, Scott, when you and Jerry and John agreed to do the step back, a lot of talk was about competing with the Astros to win the division title. You know, obviously you didn't win the division title, but you're here now. Do you think the team, as you constructed it, is better suited to play against them? The run prevention, the pitching with more swings and misses to kind of cut down on more opportunities. I think that we've talked about it before when you've struggled here is because you gave them extra opportunities here in this park. Do you think you're better equipped now than maybe ever before?
Oh, I definitely think we are. It starts with pitching, and pitching has been the backbone of what we've done here all season, certainly starting pitching. And you need to have high-end starters, plus stuff, to get through a lineup 3 times, and certainly a lineup that is as productive as theirs has been. So I do think that we're much more equipped to play against them, compete against them, and beat them than we ever have been in the past. I say all that, and if you look at the regular season numbers, we're still 16, 18, whatever games behind them. So, but where we're at right now, and I will say, you know, we have not played the Astros without Luis Castillo on our roster. He will not play in today's game, but I hope he factors very, very big in this series. So we have a little bit different look to our team, but it'll come down to executing, making the plays defensively, and, you know, Perry Hill has a saying, 27 outs, no more. That's what we need to keep it at, 27 outs.
Go to JP in the back.
In looking at Kirby and just what a weapon he can be out of the bullpen, how many days off do you typically will need to have for him when he's just gone the 1 inning? And is it important to have him just coming in on a clean inning and just beginning the inning in that way?
Yeah, definitely the clean inning. JP, I think, is really important. Anytime you've got a guy started, he needs maybe a little extra time to warm up and make sure he understands, you know, what's ahead of him, who the 3 or 4 hitters he may face coming up ahead. But yeah, we kind of day to day with George, see how he feels. You know, if we need him, we're going to go to him in any role. You know, in the bullpen, you saw it the other night. Thought he was the best guy in that spot, and it worked out great. But could be earlier in the game, could be late in the game. We just have to wait and see.
Go to JP again.
You mentioned Perry Hill a moment ago. I'm just curious to ask about his impact on this team, and what you admire most about him as a teacher and an instructor.
Yeah, I got asked the question a couple days ago in Toronto. For me, the thing that Perry Hill has brought to us is 2 things, really. One, consistency. He has a structured program. And number 2 is accountability. He holds all players accountable. And it's not like it's a special sauce or magic potion he throws on infielders. It's good old roll your sleeves up, get after it, get down to the basics of understanding what's going to allow you to be consistent and making the plays in the box, is what he likes to say. Make the routine play. We're not looking for the fantastic, you know, working on the Jeter jump play and the whole things like that the great athletes can do in the infield, but it's making the routine play. That's why it's 27 outs, no more. And the little things, the finite details, making sure your feeds at second base get to the right spot so our second baseman can complete and turn the double play, making sure we're in the right spot in the base where our first baseman can get the longest reach for a stretch, because that replay at this time of year and throughout the course of the season is so important. So the important of the finite details, the structure in his program, but the most important thing that he's brought to us is accountability with our players. And you know, it's an old school guy that young players, old players, players in the middle, they all will gravitate towards, because at the end of the day, he will make them better. And players just want to get better. And if you've got real meat on the bone that can make them better, they will buy in. They will adhere to the discipline that is set out there and the accountability he holds them to. He doesn't back off. He'll be yelling at them the same today pregame that he did way back the first day in spring training.
Go on your left, Aaron.
Hey, Scott. We talked to Logan yesterday about his fastball. And if you look at each month of his career, the month he's coming off of, his fastball never averaged better velocity. A lot of the numbers against it have never been better. Obviously, that's an intriguing part of the matchup against the Astros. When we asked him what he thought made that be the case, he referenced adrenaline. Is there anything from your perspective that you saw, whether it be in between starts, routine, whatever, that you might add to that?
No.
Go on
I think
your
it's
right.
adrenaline. I think he's right.
Second row on the right.
Scott, Carlos Santana, his addition to this roster
Mhm.
was maybe one of the more underrated moves you guys had all year. Just what's the best thing that he's done? What's the best thing he's brought for this team in the second half?
Certainly a burning desire to get to the playoffs again. He's been to the playoffs a bunch. He's been on top of it, long career, very successful career. There's a couple of things, and the number one thing is driven to get back to the playoffs. The second thing is how he goes about his game, his preparation, his ability to relay information and messaging to the rest of the players on an individual basis. He's not the kind of guy that's going to get up in the middle of a team meeting and start yelling and screaming and pounding the table. That's not Carlos. What he has done with Gino Suarez, Julio Rodriguez, J.P. Crawford, Mitch Haniger, go down the list of everybody. Players are going to listen to players more than they're ever going to listen to coaches or the manager. That's just the way the game is, and I played it a long time. I respect that. And Carlos and I have a really good relationship. He likes being a Mariner. He's enjoyed it. He's was excited about the fact he got to join our team. And then he made an immediate impact. He started hitting home runs in late innings, and all of a sudden you have a lot of friends when you start doing that. So our guys quickly bought into Carlos and what he's about, but he's been huge for us. He really has. He's just been through so much in his career, and he understands how precious these moments are when you get a chance to play on the biggest stage. And you ain't getting him out of the game. I don't care if he rips his hamstring today or whatever's going to happen there, but he's good to go. He wants to play, wants to be a part of this, and he filled in a critical spot in our season when Ty France was out. And he walks right into first base. He's very comfortable playing, does a good job defensively, and we didn't miss a beat for that period of time. We certainly missed Ty's bat, but what he was able to do to kind of help, plug the hole, so to speak, in the boat was critical for us.
Going up front with Larry.
Hey, Scott. You guys have faced Verlander a lot. You had that one really good game where you had 4 home runs, and then other than that, he had pretty good success. Is there anything you could take from that one game, and what are the keys to a great pitcher like Verlander?
Well, I mentioned a little bit yesterday, the one thing that Verlander has done throughout his career, he continues to make adjustments. I think that's what all the great players, pitchers, they do. No matter where they're at in their career, they're striving to get better. And we certainly see that with him. So if we had the one outing against him, he made some mistakes in the middle of the plate. We were on it. We took advantage of it. He quickly switched how he was going to pitch us going forward. And now it's a game of adjustments. We have to understand that, knowing that he's one of the better pitchers of our era. But I say all that, and all pitchers will give you a chance. They will make mistakes. As good as they are, and as good as their stuff is, they will make mistakes. You got to be ready to take advantage of it when it's there. And the ability to grind through at bats. Don't get down. Hey, we got to keep going. We got to keep going, no matter how this game starts or where it's at any point. Don't try to do too much in the moment. But with Justin Verlander, it's a great competitor. You got great stuff. You know what you're walking into. But at the end of the day, all pitchers, they don't throw all 100 pitches right where they want to. Okay, even on the no-hitters and crazy things that have happened in our game, the great outings, there will be a few mistakes there to hit. You got to take advantage of them.
Go in the back, Chris.
Hey, Chris Egan, King 5 TV. Scott, you mentioned Carlos Santana having an impact filling in. Another player, Jared Kelenic, is a guy that has had to step up. Can you just talk about the impact he's having and he could have on this team?
He's learning, and we said that a lot about JK. It hasn't been easy for him. We see some young players jump into the league and they take it and they run with it and they never look back. There's others that, there's a little bit of a rocky road, and that's what JK's gone through. The timing for him coming back to us with the injuries we've had, and it created an opportunity for him. I think his at-bats have been very competitive. They've been very good. you look at the overall numbers and what he's done here, it's not going to wow you by any means, but you're kind of looking at the process and how he's going about it, how he's reacting to maybe when things don't go his way, which is much different now than how he reacted early on when he showed up in the big leagues. And those are all positive signs for me in the right direction. So, really happy for him that he's put himself in this opportunity to make impact for us, because there's nobody who wants to win more than Jared Kelenic. He really is driven by winning and understanding at these moments. Again, you look up at the board these days, and it's not what you hit during the regular season that's tied to the batting average next to your name. It's what you're doing in the postseason. And I think that's very helpful for a lot of guys, and I think he's one of them.
Go in the back in the middle, Robert.
Hey, Scott.
Hey.
I counted, you played on 3 teams, I believe, who made the postseason. You played in 1 postseason game. If you could just talk about what you remember about your postseason experiences and if you can relate any of that to, with this team as a manager.
Yeah, I can. I was on the '98 Cubs team. We played game 163 to get into the playoffs. That was the year Sammy Sosa hit all the home runs. Did not have a great year, overall year, but at the end of the season I started to play much better. And I shared a story with our team about that, my experience going through that. And it was more geared towards the guys who maybe have struggled this year, but still had an opportunity to make a big impact on our season. And I just believe that the mind is such a powerful thing, and self-talk in this game and what you tell yourself on a daily basis is so critical on what allows you to go out and perform on the stages, on the biggest stages. And I learned a lot, and I've carried those lessons on and shared it with multiple players through the years. But being in this situation, with our team, a lot of guys who going to the playoffs here for the first time, it's been easier for me to relate as I've shared some of the feelings and thoughts that I had that first time I played in the playoffs down in Atlanta against the Braves. It was Tom Glavine. I knew very well, played against him a ton. And I had a good game that night. Unfortunately, it was a heart-wrenching loss. We gave up a 9th-inning home run to lose the game by a run or tie the game, and then we ended up losing in extra innings. But, I was on a Giants team in the playoffs. I was with the Astros here in 2001 when I thought we had an outstanding team, maybe the best team I ever played on. And we couldn't get by the Braves either here in Houston. So, you share those experiences with players, and it's more of like the things behind the scenes and how to deal with, I've talked with our team a lot about expect the expected. There are going to be momentum swings. It's like a heavyweight fight. You are going to get punched in the face once in a while. It's how you respond to that will dictate how deep you go in the playoff. And our team has a lot of resolve. We really believe in ourselves, and we belong here. We'll see what happens in this series.
Go on the right, Rick.
Hey, Skip, what has allowed Cal Raleigh to go from a kid who was sent down to the minor leagues in the early part of the season to your cleanup hitter here in the postseason game?
His nickname. No, I wish it was as easy as that. But Cal's had a phenomenal season. You could see it coming about midseason. The quality of the at-bat, the approach at the plate, that has changed dramatically. The one thing that has been a constant for him the entire season has been his ability to deal with it and kind of manage our pitching staff. With all the different arms we have in the rotation, the guys coming out of the bullpen, Cal has a very, calm demeanor about him. And I think part of it is he grew up in a family. His dad is a longtime college coach. Baseball is talked quite a bit at the dinner table in Cal Raleigh's house growing up as a kid. You can see that. You see how he reacts. You see how he responds when you throw things at him pregame or midgame, and his ability to take that information and then put it in play right away. It's pretty good for a guy who's only 25 years old. So he's been huge for our team. He's hitting in the middle of the lineup now because he has good at-bats. And the power has been there. He's hitting fastballs, he's hitting breaking balls, he's hitting changeups. And as he works his way through those at-bats, he's making adjustments along the way. So we're going to need him, for the remainder of the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. You need everybody to step up, and he's been huge for us.
Anything else for Scott? Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.